I'm trying to platinum and 100% every single game in the Far Cry franchise. However, for some of the earlier games, due to the PS5's lack of backwards compatibility, I will instead be getting all the achievements on Xbox. In my last video, I got all achievements in the first game in the series, Far Cry Classic. But before moving on to Far Cry 2, there is one other game to be done, Far Cry Instincts Predator. The origins of this game is quite confusing to explain, but I'll do my best. After Far Cry 1 exclusively released on PC in 2004, Ubisoft wanted to make a Far Cry game for consoles, so they released Far Cry Instincts on the Xbox in 2005, which is a reimagining of the classic game with similar but not identical story elements, and the levels are more linear because of the weaker Xbox capabilities. They then decided to release a sequel to this game a year later called Instincts Evolution on Xbox, but on the same day, they also released Instincts Predator on the newer Xbox 360, which combines the two campaigns into one game with enhanced graphics and a multiplayer mode. So essentially, they rebooted the first game to put it on console, made a sequel for it, but then also decided to combine both games into one and release it on the same day on the Xbox 360. And that's the game I'm going to be 100%ing today because it's backwards compatible on the Xbox Series X. In terms of achievements, there are 35 to collect, with the guide estimating it to be a 7 out of 10 difficulty and can take up to a massive 145 plus hours. This does sound really daunting, but it's not as bad as you think. For now, let's just get into stage 1, which is to complete the multiplayer achievements. To start things off, I first actually have to go to the map editor, because for the first set of multiplayer achievements, the quickest way to get them is by creating your own maps. Because essentially all these achievements are just for winning a certain amount of multiplayer matches in different game modes. So the goal was to make a map for each different type of game mode by matching their requirements, so then the map was ready to go when I wanted to grind out some wins. The first game mode I chose was Predator, and I followed this template image here to try and make the most efficient map as possible to get wins quickly. Then I just had to publish the map, and luckily at the time I didn't have Xbox Live, but you can use System Link, which is like a LAN party, in order to get these achievements. For some reason though, split screen doesn't work. Once in though, I made sure to choose the map that I just had created and published, load it up into the game by myself, and for this game mode, all you have to do is just activate the sonic alarm by standing next to it for 40 seconds. And even though there is no one else in the game, this will still count as a win to me. Predator winner. Predator mode winner once. There we go. First achievement done. After that, I then went on to create the map for the next game mode, Seek and Secure. And once again, I just used another image template in order to make the map. And this time around in the options, I made sure to change the number of stations secured to 1, so I could win straight away after capturing the first one. And I also changed the capture time to only 15 seconds. Change weapons.
Red team score!
Seek and Secure winner.
Red team wins!
Seek and Secure mode winner once. Let's go. Another achievement, woohoo. I'm so cracked at this game. Once again, for the next game mode, I made another map for Steal the Sample, and of course used a very handy image template. And of course in the game options, I set these steals to win to only 1 to get it done as quick as possible. Essentially, this game mode is just capture the flag, and with no one to stop me, I had no problems. Oh, Steal the Sample winner. Steal the Sample mode winner once. Next up was Chaos mode, and for this one I actually didn't have to make my own map because it's the default game mode, so it's pretty much just like free-for-all. All I had to do was set the time limit to 1 minute and let that run out, and I would automatically get the W. I don't even know how to change weapons. What the oh, that's
They not like
oh,
us.
Chaos
They not like
winner.
us.
Chaos mode winner once. Let's go. And the next one was pretty much the exact same, except this time it was Team Chaos, so essentially Team Deathmatch, and I just had to let the time run out once again.
3, 2, 1, red team wins!
2 for 35G. Oh, I got 2 achievements, bro, what am I saying? I got Team Chaos winner for winning it once, and Multiplayer Master for winning all online game modes at least once. Now was the grind. I just had to win 50 times in each game mode now. First up was the Predator game mode, which all of these were pretty mindless. Essentially, as soon as I'd won the match, I just readied up straight away for the next one, and then ran over and started powering up the sonic alarm until I won again. And it was legitimately just doing that over and over again until I got the 50 wins. Oh shit. Predator champion. Yes, 50 games in Predator mode 1. Thank God for that. I then did the same thing for Seek and Secure. Of course, just run over the station and start capturing it. I definitely recommend, if any of you are going to go for these achievements, just chuck on a YouTube video or watch a movie or a TV show or something, because that's exactly what I did whilst I was waiting for this grind.
I'm gonna go grab some stuff for the evidence.
Oh, Lisa.
Nah, you just say where are you? And
Let's
Where
go!
are you?
Seek and Secure champion! 50 games in Seek
Are
and
you
Secure
here?
mode 1.
Red team score.
Finally! Next up was Steal the Sample, which was probably the quickest one because you don't have to capture anything or wait for any time limit.
Steal the sample. You have the enemy sample.
Oh, shit.
Red team
Red
wins.
team wins, Steal the Sample champion. 50 games in Capture the Sample mode 1. Let's go. Then it was back to Chaos and Team Chaos, and these ones aren't too bad because you don't actually have to touch your controller in any way. You can just put on the auto launch feature in between games, so it launches in 15 seconds, and you can literally just leave your console on and eventually you'll get this. I ended up just watching a YouTube video while I was waiting, and in between games I was just readying up as quick as possible so it would go faster, but you could just leave your console on and come back like an hour and a bit later.
1.
Yes, Chaos
You win!
champion. 50 games in Chaos mode 1. Finally. And of course, Team Chaos was the exact same.
2.
That's a cool
One.
new change.
Red
Let's go!
team wins.
Team Chaos champion. 50 games in Team Chaos mode 1. Now, doing some math, I had played 5 different game modes and won 50 games in each one, so that means I'd won a total of 250 games, and all I had to do now was get the 300 wins in all game modes, so I just had to get 50 more. Now, I could have just kept it Team Chaos mode and let my console run until eventually I got it, but instead I wanted to get it done as quick as possible, so like I mentioned earlier, I started playing Steal the Sample because that was by far the quickest method.
Steal the sample.
Shit.
You have the enemy.
Multi-champion!
Red team
300
wins.
games in whatever mode 1. Yes! I got 50 G's for that, bruh. Now for the next lot of multiplayer achievements, I actually had to play with someone else because they're all kill related. And even though the guide specifically said that split screen did not work for these achievements, I still decided to try it anyway, and safe to say, it didn't work. So I actually did the next best thing I could think of, which was to look on the Xbox social page where each game has their own little hub and you can see what other people have been posting. And I found in that same day there had been people playing the multiplayer, in particular this guy called DJ Deathwish. So I ended up sending him a message hoping that he would reply and help me out with the achievements. So while we're waiting for him to reply, let's move on to stage 2, which is the single player. There is one achievement in particular that stands out, which is to finish both stories at all difficulty levels. And the thing is, because this was one of the earliest games to have achievements, and they didn't really work like how they do now, none of the difficulty achievements stack. So I literally had to play through each time on a different difficulty. So essentially I had to do 3 whole playthroughs. One on Rookie, one on Hunter, and one on Predator. So first up, I decided to do the Instinct story on the Rookie difficulty. And the reason I did this is because of the one and only collectible achievement. I wanted to get this done on the easiest difficulty out of the way on my first playthrough so I didn't have to worry about it later. I definitely used a guide for these collectibles because it's pretty hard to keep track of which ones you've already gotten, so you want to make sure you don't miss any at all. Or you could have to restart and look through every single level again. And even though it was annoying to use a video guide just to find out where each vial was, to be fair, there isn't actually that many of them. There's only 5 in each level. There are 10 levels in the first campaign and 7 levels in the second campaign, campaign. So that means there's a total of 17 levels, times that by 5, and that equals 85 vials to collect. But before we can collect all these vials and I get ahead of myself, first let's go back to the beginning and start with this story. Very similar to Far Cry Classic, you start off the game in Micronesia playing as Jack Carver, and you're transporting a woman called Valerie to look at some boat wrecks. She ends up going off on a jet ski to get a closer look while Jack has a nap until she returns. However, when he wakes up, he is suddenly attacked by some mercenaries in a chopper, and his boat is blown up. It was then put straight into gameplay after that cutscene, where this is pretty much the tutorial to learn the controls. Wowee, is this game old, because the controls are very different to what modern games are like. For example, you crouch and prone with the left stick, which I feel like is normally used for sprinting, and you use right stick to zoom in on your scope instead of left trigger. Here though, I also did learn about stealth kills, which there is an achievement related to these, and also trap kills, where apparently your guy can just summon a tree branch out of thin air, but there is an achievement related to these as well. After that, Jack ends up finding a radio headset where, similar to the first game, we come in contact with a man named Doyle who helps us escape. I was truly onto the first mission of the game after completing the tutorial. Found out pretty quickly that the aiming is quite clunky, but luckily they're very forgiving in this game and the bullets pretty much redirect to hit the enemy. Anyway, long story short, Doyle ends up leading us to a nearby camp where we find out that Val has been captured by the main leader of the mercenaries, Crow. So we end up taking down their radio tower to cause a distraction, and we head into the next level to try and save Val, where we get to blow up even more stuff. Boom. Until eventually we actually end up getting confronted by Crow himself. He instructs us to head to his HQ peacefully, but of course that ain't gonna happen as we take out even more of his mercenaries. We end up making it to the HQ, and it turns out that Val has actually already escaped. We end up tracking her down to a pier and we cover her to help her escape, but this ends up with us getting stuck in the back with a dart and being knocked out by Crow himself. And similar to the original game, we're introduced to the other main bad guy, Dr. Krieger. And so we end up becoming his test subject as we are injected with some sort of super soldier serum. We then reawaken in the back of a truck where Jack notices that he now feels a lot stronger. And so using our brand new feral powers, we break our way out the back of a truck with a couple of punches. And this is the main difference between the original game and this reboot, is you actually get like superpowers in this game, and I can't lie, the gameplay is super fun once you unlock these powers. With the feral abilities, you are able to charge attack anyone and one-shot them. And overall, it just makes the gameplay feel so much more exciting and fluid. Once again, we eventually find another radio headpiece to reunite with Doyle. Doyle explains to us that we've been injected with the serum, but there is also a device that has been planted inside of us that can be used to control our powers. So we have to head to Doyle to get it extracted as soon as possible. Eventually, Val also contacts us and lets us know that she'll meet up with us as well. And not long after, we are introduced to these dinosaur thingies that have caused a lot of destruction to the mercenaries. Not long after, I finally managed to get another achievement. Oh, head collector. 100 headshots in any solo mode. Nice. In the next level, it is now nighttime and we unlock a new feral power which allows us to follow the scent of enemies. And I have my first fight with the dinosaur creatures. They kind of remind me of those ones that spit out acid in Jurassic Park. I can't remember the names of. Anyway, we eventually meet back up with Val, who explains to us that she is here to extract Doyle. She's actually like an undercover CIA agent, very similar to the original game. She also gives us a new mission to track down her pocket PC because it got stolen, and if Crow's men decrypt it, then they'll find out that Doyle is the traitor, and they will kill him, which will result in us not being able to get the implant taken out, effectively killing us as well. And so along the way, I actually ended up getting another achievement. Feral Warrior. 80 feral punch kills reached in any solo mode. Nice. I knew that was going to come soon because that ability is so much fun to use. I then finally made it to the old Japanese bunker where we can find the pocket PC, and this is definitely a flipped asset from the original game because I got an achievement in this exact same place. Unfortunately though, there was no achievement this time, but it did lead to us getting the Pocket PC back. From there, we escape the bunker and head towards the caves on our way to the medical facility. Here in the caves, we unlock the feral ability of Night Vision. Long story short, after fighting our way through heaps of enemies, we end up ziplining out of the cave to make our escape. In the next level, we unlock probably the funnest feral ability in the game, which lets you run really fast and jump really far as well. Makes getting around the map so much more convenient. Still on our way to the medical facility, we end up coming across another one of Krieger's laboratories. Oh, buddy. What the hell is that thing? What the heck? Whoa. Okay, buddy, calm down. It's like the thing from Last of Us Part 2, the Rat King or whatever. Of course, that then becomes an enemy we have to take out, and honestly these guys aren't actually too hard to beat, they're just bullet sponges pretty much. In the next level we finally make it to the medical facility where Doyle is able to take the implant out of Jack. After being knocked out, we reawaken with Doyle gone and a bunch of enemies in our way. And after fighting our way out of the facility, we are introduced to our first meeting with Krieger's other experiments. Not long after, we meet back up with Val, who leads us inside another facility to try and find Doyle. Turns out that Doyle has been taken to another island under Crow's control, so we head there to save him. In this level, we unlock another really useful feral ability, which is to get a heat signature on enemies to see them more clearly. Not long after, we end up blowing up the electrical power station to weaken the defenses, and you also have to end up fighting your way through two of those big guys. And after all that, we finally managed to find where Doyle was being held. He lets us know that Crow has already left, and he injected himself with the serum, and he's on his way right now to kill Krieger. So of course, we have to stop him. So we have to escort Doyle to the helicopter safely. Doyle lets us know that we're on our way to Krieger's secret bunker on a volcano, where Jack makes the same joke I did in my last video.
Why in? A volcano. Did he learn that in supervillain school or something?
To get to Krieger, we have to make our way up the side of a volcano to get to his central office. Bruh. Of course, on the way to the bunker, our helicopter ends up getting shot at, and Jack ends up falling out. We then have to make our way through an absolute war zone where the mercenaries are fighting the experimented on creatures. Eventually we make it to Krieger's bunker where we're attacked by some more evolved experiments that are harder to take down. Nevertheless, we take them out and get into contact with Val, who instructs us to head up to Krieger's villa to take down Crow. Of course, once we get up there, we end up getting surprise attacked by Crow, and Krieger lets us know that they're actually working together now because of what Crow has been able to do and controlling the other creatures. And this ends up turning into the final boss fight of the game against Crow, who is pretty much just a bullet sponge, but if you do get too close, he can do a lot of damage. On rookie difficulty though, he wasn't too much of a challenge and we were able to kill him. So Jack goes to confront Krieger, who tries to use the creatures as his bodyguards, but then they quickly figure out that we took out Crow, who was the alpha, meaning that we are the strongest one here, so now they listen to us, and so they take down Krieger for us. Holy jeez. Oh my god. He's got ripped to shreds. Oh, before I leave though, I gotta get this collectible, and now I'm out of here. So just before leaving and hopping on the helicopter, I had to collect the final collectible of this campaign, and of course we make our escape. And the story ends with us escaping the erupting volcano and Doyle giving Jack some sort of gift in a box? Money maybe? I don't know. They never reveal it, so I don't know. Yes, Instinct's Rookie. Instinct story finished on rookie level difficulty. Before moving on to the evolution campaign, I decided to go back to stage 1 and try and finish off the multiplayer achievements. So I created a map that had everything I needed in order to get all the kill achievements. I ended up buying Xbox Live to try and see if I could find a match online, but still no cigar. So I knew I had to boost it, but unfortunately, DJ Deathwish never got back to me. Luckily though, family came in clutch.
I don't have friends. family.
I was able to recruit my cousin who had an Xbox to help me out with the boosting process. And so pretty much he just had to stand there as I went for the headshot kills first. Almost 300 kills later, I had figured out the best method was by using a sniper for the headshots, and just kept doing that until eventually I got it.
Headshot.
Yes, multi-head collector. 300 headshots in any
You
multiplayer
win!
game mode. Next up was explosive kills, which I just used the built-in grenade launcher on this assault rifle to get done quickest. For grenades. There we go. Explosives Maniac.
You win.
200 grenade kills in any multiplayer game mode. For the next achievement, I actually had to recruit another person to boost with. And this time I managed to get one of my friends on Xbox to help me, and I actually ended up buying the game for him because it was on sale, just so I could get this achievement. So pretty much this achievement cost me like $5, and it only took like 5 minutes because it was just getting 10 double kills, which is for obviously taking down 2 enemies at around the same time. Nah, you just tap it, like you get in and out. Alright, that's
Double
20.
kill.
That's... Wait, I should be able to... How do I... There we go.
You
Berserker.
win.
Get 10 kills, 10 multi-kills. Done. Thank you very much for helping.
Is that it?
Yep, that's it. 6
Oh my
times
God.
bro. After that, it was just back to boosting with my cousin, and this time he actually had to run around himself because I had to get trap kills. So I just set up a bunch of traps on the trees and just let him run around until eventually I got the 100 kills.
1 frag remaining.
Final one. Come on. There we go. Multi-stalker.
You win.
100 trap kills. Let's go. After that, it was feral attack kills. Yes. Multi-feral warrior.
You win.
150 feral punch kills. Then after that, it was vehicle kills, and for some reason only this ATV worked. I got like about 100 kills with the truck, and for some reason the achievement didn't pop. Because the truck wasn't working, I decided to switch to the ATV to try another vehicle to see if that might change things, and I ended up getting an achievement that I didn't expect. This will work. If I only have 50 works. Yes, it did. Oh no, cleaner. Never mind.
win.
That's for getting 1,000 total kills. Bruh. In the end, I just had to keep persisting with the ATV and hope that it would work after the next 50 kills.
Frag remaining.
Yes, Road Demon, it worked. Let's go.
You win.
100 road kills in multiplayer. You know how I mentioned earlier that this game can take 145 plus hours to complete? Well, it's because of this trophy right here. But like I mentioned before, it's not as bad as you think, because similar with getting wins on the different game modes, I can do the same thing here and just leave my console running and let the 80 hours go by in the background. So each night I made sure to leave my console running so I could get some free hours while I was asleep. In the meantime, whilst I could play during the day, I decided to start the evolution story on the rookie difficulty. Once again, I was still going for all the collectibles to get the achievement, so I kept my eye out for those using the guide. And this story was actually quite interesting because it wasn't based on the original game, it was its own new complete story with different characters. We are still playing as Jack Carver and we're still in the Micronesian Islands and he's still looking for a new boat, but this time we are introduced to a new girl called Cade who has a job offer for us to complete. And also, let's just say the graphics have not held up very well for her.
What the hell? Oh my god!
So of course, Jack decides to help her after some persuasion, and she's doing some sort of arms deal between pirates and the government here in Micronesia. Anyways, things go wrong as the natives of the island end up attacking and killing the government official. The leader of the natives runs away, and as Cade points out, the government will probably think that Carver was the killer now, so we have to escape the island as well. On our escape across the island, we cause a lot of chaos. Again, we also have another run-in one with the native leader, who reveals that he wants to kill all of the pirates and government on the island, and he also reveals that he has the same powers as us, the feral powers, and he warns us not to get in his way. Moving on to the next mission, we eventually catch back up with Cade, and on our way to the other side of the island to escape, we get into a massive car chase. Of course, we do make it to the boat to make our escape, where she says she's going to take us back to the mainland. Once we make it to the mainland, she tells us to split up and make our way to her safe house. Honestly, don't know why we split up, but of course we have to fight our way to the safe house, and once we get there, we get a nice surprise that Doyle is now here to investigate the murder. And of course, we explain to him that we didn't actually do it and that it was the rebels instead. And of course, Doyle strings us along to help him clean up our mess apparently. The rebels attack, and of course we are separated from Doyle and Cade, and he instructs us to meet them at the shrine overlooking the town. Not much happens here really, just again taking out more enemies, and I think I forgot to mention earlier, but we do keep all our feral powers from the first game, so this campaign is actually quite fun, because you get everything from the start. Eventually we do make our way to the shrine where we reunite with Cade and Doyle. In the end, Doyle tells us that he can square everything out with the government by blaming the kill on us, but it won't matter as long as we help them take out the rebel offensive. So when night comes, the first thing we have to do is interrogate a rebel spy who was captured by the pirates. Of course, after fighting through some more enemies, we make our way to the rebel spy who thinks we're one of Semeru's warriors, the native chief, and he lets slip to us that they have a truck full of weapons and supplies heading to the refinery, so that is where we're headed next. After fighting our way through the jungle, we end up catching up with Doyle. The next morning, he explains to us that we need to find the truck and use that to take back the refinery. And whilst I was listening to him, I accidentally forgot the controls for a second.
Because I guarantee she's not thinking about you.
Oh shit. I did not mean to do that. I accidentally tapped LT. Oh my god. Moving on, we do end up finding the truck, and Doyle decides to hijack it by jumping into the back, so of course we have to follow after it. Eventually, we catch up and hijack the truck ourselves, and then bust our way through the refinery doors. Once inside, Doyle tasks us with flooding the drainage tunnel, which is where the rebels are hiding out, in order to flush them out. Whilst we're doing this, we end up running back into Cade, who was going to leave the island, but she couldn't because the airport was full of rebels. But she also came here to warn us because the government doesn't think we can get this job done, and they're planning on blowing the whole place up.
The dear government doesn't trust Doyle's ability to get this done. I heard they're planning on blowing this place back into the Stone Age.
When?
Now! Run!
Shit. So we quickly have to make our escape inside, where we meet back up with Doyle, and Doyle tells us that we still have to continue to flood this place because he doesn't think the bombs will penetrate low enough into the tunnels. As we're opening up the main valve to flood the place, the rebels end up sneak attacking us, capturing Cade and causing Doyle to fall, causing him serious injury. And so as the place is flooding, the only way out is to use this boat to escape through the underground river. Oh crap. Ain't no way it just ended like that, bro. Come on, you can't end on a cliffhanger. Oh, there we go. Jack ends up dragging Doyle to shore, and luckily he's still alive. With enemies all around, we have to fend them off to protect Doyle, and then we head off to find a boat so we can get Doyle to safety. Once we return though, Doyle is gone with only a blood trail to follow. So we follow the blood for a while until we are attacked by some of Semeru's warriors who also have the feral abilities like us. But you know what, they definitely ain't invincible to bullets, and they're still pretty easy to take down. Eventually we find some numbers and letters written with Doyle's blood, and it's a radio beacon for us to contact. Eventually though, after taking out some more enemies, we do find Doyle's radio, and he's left it behind. We now head into the final level of the game, where we are up in the mountains now, still searching for Doyle. Eventually we reach the monastery, and we find out Doyle's fate. Ooh. Shit. So after finding his body, we are now on a mission to defeat Semaru. Eventually, after fighting our way through the ruins, we are confronted by Semaru himself, who absolutely whoops our ass and throws us off a cliff. Of course though, we're Jack Carver and we ain't going down that easy, so now we're on our true revenge tour. While shredding through all the enemies, I do end up making it to the final collectible location. There it is, the final one. Treasure Raider, 100 gamer score. All of Krieger's lost research found. Yes, finally. Continuing on, we absolutely destroy all the enemies standing in our way until eventually we catch back up to Semaru, who has Cade hostage. But in an act of betrayal, it turns out Cade offered Semaru money to keep her alive, but in order for the deal to go through, he makes her stab Jack with a knife that has poison on it that takes away our feral powers, before he drops us into his arena where he intends to kill us in front of all his people, and here we have the final boss fight of the game. Once again though, these guys ain't impervious to grenades and bullets, and because it was on the rookie difficulty, we absolutely shredded our way through him. Eventually he breaks his way out into another arena and we actually end up getting our feral powers back here, making it even easier to take him down. After seriously injuring him, he tries to run away, but of course, we've got to finish the job.
Forgetting the most important thing about us infidels. We cheat.
Damn. What a way to finish. After that, we immediately find Cade trying to escape and she begs for her life, but Carver lets bygones be bygones and understands what she did was very human of her. And that is how our story ends. Oh, achievements unlocked 2 for 50G. Oh, what if I wanted to see the achievements game? Evolution story finished at rookie difficulty. Instinct story and evolution story completed. 10G, 40G. Let's go. With both stories now complete, it was literally just finishing off a few miscellaneous trophies and replaying the game on the other difficulties. So the first thing I decided to do was get the kill miscellaneous achievements out of the way. It is very unlikely that anyone would get all the stealth kills and trap kills on their first playthroughs because honestly the game isn't really oriented towards stealth. Like, to me, I had way more fun doing run and gun, so there's no way I was getting these trophies normally. And it's also worth noting that you get your feral abilities fairly early on in the game, which makes it quite hard to stealth kill. Originally I thought it was impossible, but even with your feral abilities you still can walk right up to the enemy undetected and do a stealth kill, but it's just so easy to accidentally do a feral kill instead. So the best method I could find to grinding these kills was to go to the tutorial level, where the first kill you do is a stealth kill, and then the second kill you do is a trap kill, and then all you have to do is kill yourself with your own trap, so the game saves and counts the kills, and then you can reload the checkpoint and just keep rinse and repeating that until you get the 2 achievements. Similar to some of the other achievements in this game, I just chucked on a YouTube video to keep me entertained while I did this mindless grind. Oh, Shadowhunter, 40 stealth kills in any solo mode. Yes, that took way too long, bro. Oh my god, I thought it was glitched and wasn't working. Holy, let's go. And luckily, not too long after, the next one popped as well. Yeah. Shit. Stalker. 50 trap kills in any solo mode. Let's go. Finally, that took way too long. Again, I've just been sitting here watching YouTube the whole time. Like, come on, man. Before continuing on with the next couple of playthroughs, I decided to put in some cheat codes to make my journey a little bit easier and quicker, because luckily they didn't void any of the achievements. And honestly, the cheat codes weren't even that crazy really. It was pretty much just Unleash Hell, which gave me unlimited ammo, which was very helpful, and Bloodlust, which gave me infinite adrenaline to use for feral abilities. Other than that, unlocking the feral claw ability doesn't really change much, and replenishing health, each time you got low you would have to manually input that cheat code, so it did help me in sticky situations, but it wasn't as good as, say, infinite health. Before starting the playthrough, I did try and beat the last level on the Predator difficulty just to see if the achievement might pop just from beating the last level, because apparently on Far Cry Classic that was an option and I didn't realize it, so I thought maybe it could have been the same for this game as well, but unfortunately it was not, so I was going to have to play through the entire game. So fast forward a couple of hours, I had finally completed the first campaign on Hunter difficulty. Give me my achievement, brother. Yeah, Instincts Hunter. Instinct story finished at Hunter difficulty level. Before moving on to the second campaign, in the meantime I still had been leaving my console on overnight to try and get the multiplayer hours done, and at this point I had been timing it and it had gone over 80 hours and it still hadn't popped, so I was wondering what the issue is, and I quickly figured out it's because I had set the time limit to nothing, and then overnight my console would crash, the game would crash, meaning none of the hours would have saved. So instead, I actually read the guide properly, and in that it recommended to set the time limit to the max, which was 45 minutes, and then set the auto launch to 15 seconds, so that every time a round finished at 45 minutes, it would save that to total playtime, and then after 15 seconds, the next round would automatically start. Meaning, even if my console did crash, it had still been saving every 45 minutes, racking up my hours over time. So despite wasting all those nights and all those previous hours, I just had to suck it up and move on and hope that it would finish sooner rather than later, but in the meantime, I could complete my Hunter playthrough. That's it. Evolution Hunter. Evolution story finished at Hunter difficulty. Yes, sir. Nice, now I just gotta do it on the hardest difficulty. So after leaving my console on overnight for the multiplayer hours, the next day I started up the Predator playthrough. At this point in the third playthrough, I was really starting to get over the game, especially because you couldn't skip any of the cutscenes, so you had to sit through everything you've already watched before. But once again, it was nice though, because I could just chuck on a YouTube video or TV show in the background and watch that whilst playing. In terms of Predator difficulty, you definitely take damage quicker, and you also have no radar to see the enemies on. Using the cheats definitely does help, especially the infinite ammo, so you don't have to worry about that, but I would still recommend you look out for health packs and armor to make sure you're always ready for the next fight, and if it comes down to it, you can pause the game and use the cheat code to replenish your health. Luckily, once you get your feral powers too, your health actually regenerates, so you can always just wait around until you get back to 100 health. And eventually, once you unlock heat vision as well, this makes it so much easier to spot enemies, and with the infinite adrenaline cheat, you can have this on for the rest of the game pretty much, so you can spot enemies from a mile away. The only real issue I would say I had with the hardest difficulty was the final boss fight with Crow. He does so much damage with his minigun if you get too close, so pretty much I was just sprinting around the whole time, making sure to keep my distance. Fighting him definitely took a couple of attempts, but eventually I was able to defeat him. Oh, 2 achievements. Instincts Devour. Okay, thanks. Thanks for taking... I wanted to look at that actually. So... Instincts Predator for beating Instinct Story at Predator difficulty level. And Instincts Devourer for completing Instinct Story at all difficulty levels. Finally, it was now pretty much down to just completing the Evolution story on Predator difficulty, which I actually kind of breezed through because you have all your feral abilities from the start after completing the first campaign, so it was very easy to make my way through all these levels, and it's also shorter than the first campaign. Just before getting to the final fight with Semaru, I didn't want to complete the campaign yet because I wanted to get the multiplayer achievement out of the way first, because I didn't want the 100% to pop while I was AFK. So for the rest of the day, I left my console AFK every hour or so, checking to see if I got the achievement. And as you can see in this clip, I did in fact get the achievement. I don't exactly know when I got it, but I had gotten the achievement. To give me some sort of idea how close I was to the 80 hours, I had been keeping a timer up on my phone, and I had been starting and stopping it every time I was doing the AFK method, and in the end, it got all the way up to 165 hours before I knew I had the achievement. Obviously, probably half of this time I had wasted because my console had crashed on some nights, not saving the time I had gotten overnight. So I'm really glad that I figured out that I had to change the settings, or else who knows how long I would have been stuck, waiting for the achievement to pop. Holy shit, oh my god, I think I got it. I just have walked back into my room after leaving it on all day, and I go to check 1280, 32 or 35, multiplayer Uber Geek, 80 hours played in multiplayer mode. That is finally done. Far out. That, I can't believe I haven't done it. Finally done that, I can turn my Xbox off, god damn. Of course though, before I could turn my Xbox console off and be truly done with it, I still had to beat the final boss in second campaign. And after a few attempts, my luck, the game just happened to glitch, so I couldn't actually kill the boss whilst I was on my best run so far. But it ended up being okay, as on my very next attempt, I was able to defeat him.
The thing about us infidels.
We cheat.
We cheat.
I don't know how that's cheating, but like, yeah, you're dead, bro. 3 for 120G. There you have it. Evolution Story finished at Predator difficulty level. Evolution Devourer finished the expansion story at all difficulty levels. And Gamer Nerd, Instinct Story and Evolution Story completed at all difficulty levels. I am a freaking gamer nerd. Hell yeah. 100%. Now I just gotta do Far Cry 2. So there you have it, another Far Cry game done in the series. The next game will be Far Cry 2, and it will be the final game that I'll be doing on Xbox, thankfully, and then I can head back to PlayStation, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and comment down below what games you guys are playing at the moment. I know that there's been a lot of good games coming out recently, and I'm thinking that maybe after I finish Far Cry 2 and head back to PlayStation, I might give Far Cry a break and try out some different games. Let me know. Once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.